to another episode of the Now Show. I am your regular host, Abosede Oza Osho. And on today's episode, I'm bringing you a courageous lady. That's what I consider her to be. And because of that, we have titled today's episode, Courage to Do Exploits. And you'll see why we titled it that. So on today's episode, joining me is my sister, my friend, a courageous lady, an amazing woman, doing amazing things, Doyinsola Ogunye. Doyin, you are welcome to the Now Show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you amaze me every time I come to a remembrance of you. Let me just put it that way. Doyin is a director, Lagos founder really, Lagos Plastic Search, Lagos Coastal Plastic Search, and you also are the MD of Medic. So Medic, I'm always trying to remember, I know that it's mental. So Tell us what Medic is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, actually, I'm the founder of both. Mm-hmm. So Medic means the Mental and Environmental Development Initiative for Children. Mm. So any initiative we actually start has to do with mental health of children. How can they grow in an environment, like ours? How can they be better people, than we have been? And, how can what they're doing affect the environment positively? Wow. So basically, that's how the name came up. The funny thing is, a lot of people, when they see the acronym MEDIC, they always think, oh, it's the medical
It's
field.
got something to do with medicine.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, when you talk mental health, it's really, something, so you can excuse people when they think of that.
Yes, exactly.
And, as you were just talking, I was just saying to myself, you see why I think she's such an amazing person? Because you are somebody who will consider ordinary, doing extraordinary things. And I wonder, I say to myself sometimes, how did she even come about thinking about this and actually getting into it? So how? Tell me.
The story is always very, every time I talk about it, it's always very funny because it was kind of like a move for us and our family. We used to stay in Ikoyi before, and then we moved towards Ajah area in 2002. And I wasn't used to basically what I saw. I saw children running up and down. I saw, a very, very, dirty environment, and I just couldn't handle it. So I said to myself, what can I do to
coming from change? Order to disorderliness, as it were.
Exactly. So I said, okay, what can I do? It really bothered me, and I don't know why. Wow. So I said, what can I do to change, the narrative of what I can see on my streets? Literally. So I said, okay, let me get the children together, teach them about recycling, teach them about a cleaner environment, how to wash their hands and things like that. And, so we started something called the Kids Clean Club. In the area. I'll play environmental games with them. I'll give them gifts and things like that. And that's how it all started. So from there, I took it to church. I took it to other schools as well. And, the children started to grow and understand what we were doing at the time, because it was very difficult to convince adults to understand what I was doing. But, when you get children in their formative years, it's easier to get them to start doing things early in life. And then, as they grow, it becomes part of them.
And how old were you at this time?
I was 22.
At 22, a normal 22-year-old is immersed in themselves. And here you are, thinking of other people, thinking of the environment. You see why I say that you're a courageous woman? I mean,
thank you.
Who are 22? Even I didn't think I didn't even know my direction at 22. And here you are doing all these amazing things. And you've moved on from there. And how many years are we down the line?
This is the 12th year.
This is the 12th year. And you've kept at it. And it's been growing and growing and growing.
Exactly.
Wow. Now, I knew you through the Lagos Coastal Plastic Search. Tell us what this is about. When I heard this, I was like, who is this lady doing this, thinking of this? And I got into it and I was wowed. Doyin.
So It's usually, it always starts from the one thing that you're doing, and then it just continues to grow and it just blows up in your face, things like that. So the Lagos Coastal Plastic Sec started out of I was angry. I was like, what is all this? That's how it started. So now, backtracking to how the entire thing started, every September, we do something called the International Coastal Cleanup Day. So in the last 6 years, I would always, get my volunteers together and look for a coastline to clean for one day. And we do it like every month at the Kids Beach Garden. We clean. That's a space where we created for children to learn how to recycle and plant trees. So every month we get people together. So we started a community of people that clean. And at International Coastal Cleanup, we partnered with Bonnie Camp, and then we decided to clean. It was a 24-hour call for volunteers. We had over 121 volunteers show up, and we really cleaned. We put in about good 6 hours of cleaning, and we got out so much plastic. And usually when you clean, you're proud, the pictures are out and everything. So I said, okay, let me go and see the place that we cleaned. And the plastic that came back on shore was even times 5 what we had cleaned. So it was almost like we didn't do anything. And so I got to the site. I just said, you know what? I just thought, okay, let's make a video. Let's put it out on social media that we need to do it for 7 days. If we're looking for the impact, in Lagos State, we need to put in more effort. We need to put in more people. And nobody had ever done it before, generally, because people just do 1 day, 1 day cleaning, 2 day cleaning. But for 7 days, nobody had ever done it. So I said, you know what? We need to do it in the waterways, as we need to get on boats, we call it get on board. We need to get on boats and look for where all these plastics are, because usually they settle. There are deposited areas in Lagos State that the plastics just go there to settle. So when it rains or when the tide is high, everything comes back because they move around. So we said, okay, let's go to where they are and clean up from there. So that's how we started. So we started writing to companies, especially people on the coastline of Lagos State, on the shoreline of Lagos State, companies that do shipping, companies that use the waterways, boat companies, tourist destinations and everything. So we started to write to everybody and we said, okay, this is a good time to everybody come out and do something. So that's basically how it started.
Wow. And from what you said, it just shows that when you're consistent at something, that's when the impact would really be felt more.
Exactly.
Because you clean for 1 day and it was like you hadn't done anything. But when you were consistently cleaning every day for 7 days, we could see the difference.
Exactly.
Because there was a day that I came out and I joined you guys, and I thought, wow, this is not it's not easy work at all. You are there under the sun picking up all the plastics and things like that. And you're saying to yourself, how did even so much plastic get into our waterways?
It's the way we are as human beings. We don't care about the environment as much, so you see people use plastic bottles and everything and just throw it on the floor, and that's where the problem starts, because from there it gets into the drainage. From the drainage it gets into the canal. From the canal it now flushes into our waterways, and gets to the beaches and different things and different areas like that. And what we even found out,
innocent act of tossing your bottle somewhere, your pet bottle somewhere, causes so much ripple effect and damage as it were.
Exactly. And what really broke my heart was we even found out during the course of our cleaning that there were people that were literally dumping into the ocean.
Conscious effort of dumping.
They'll just go there. Or when it rains, you see people put their waste into the drainage system so that it washes off, and things like that. So
not realizing it's going somewhere.
Exactly. And the damage on the waterways and even on humans, because when the plastic gets into the ocean, it starts to break down into very tiny pieces called microplastic, and then it gets into the fish that we eat. So right now, scientists have found out that even in feces of human, they've started to see particles of plastic, which is actually carcinogenic. It can cause
Seriously?
Yes, it's already happening. So this is the scary reality that we live in. So every time I wake up and I see that we are not taking care of the environment the right way, or we're not recycling as much as we should, or we're not reducing our waste, basically. It gets to me that, okay, at the end of the day, when we leave, what are we going to leave for the next generation, if it's already this bad?
Wow. So the education really needs to start with everybody. Because as it were, the recycle culture is not part of our culture. As it were.
Exactly.
So it needs to start with everybody. So being aware that you need to separate your plastics from your general waste. And also even the general waste, try and reduce it.
Exactly.
Wow. So how do we reduce general waste?
The truth is, if you go to the supermarket for, some people, they'll go to the supermarket, okay, we'll put this one, put this nylon into another one, into another one.
Okay.
It's too much, and most of the time, these supermarkets just give out every single hour. You know how we shop.
Yes.
We're a consumer nation, especially in Lagos State. So that's
especially we don't pay for the bags here.
Exactly.
So somebody goes and gets bags that she's going to need for the next, we can hold. Wow.
So that simple act of taking so much, plastic bags that you might just use once or twice, and it's now in the environment, we all have to deal with it. Little step behavioral changes.
Yes.
Growing up, we used to use glass bottles a lot when we had parties and things like that. We didn't have disposable plates, disposable this, disposable that. So it was easy back then to reduce our plastic consumption or
because
waste
we had a lot of
generally.
reeusables.
Yes, we had a lot of reusables. When you go to the market, you take your bag with you and things like that. But now it's just, let's just do, I call it instant gratification. Everybody is just taking and taking. Sometimes even if they don't need it, they just take it. Okay, we'll use it. We'll just take it. So if we can reduce that to the barest minimum, it will go a very, very long way. I'll give you an example. Every Friday we have a group of people that support the children in one of our communities.
Okay.
And when they started, they said, okay, they're going to be giving us the styrofoam packs to give out the food, and they were giving like 200 packs a day.
Okay.
And I said, no, we're not going to use that because of the effect on the environment. What we would do when the children come, let them bring their bowls from home, let them bring their plates and their spoons.
Yes.
And we've been doing this we've been doing it every Friday for the past 3 months. And you can imagine the impact on that alone.
Wow.
If everybody can do something very little, it doesn't need to be, so magnificent.
A little goes a long way from what you're saying.
Yes.
Wow.
So little things like that. And if you don't need it, don't buy it. Literally, if you don't need it, don't buy it. Reduce as much as possible. If you're having a party at home, use your nice, beautiful plates. My grandmother had this nice, beautiful plates at home. So I said, okay, we'll bring this out and use it, for events, when you have events. And even if you want to go disposable, try and get paper. Because paper would biodegrade over time.
Paper is much better than
than plastic. So in any little way, that you can reduce your plastic, any little way, just do it. And when it starts becoming culture for you, starts to become a lifestyle, and you start to tell people around you that there are little things we can do, and everybody is a bit more conscious every time.
Yes, because it takes you believing to get other people to buy in and all that. Wow. Then you're talking children, you're talking mental health, you're talking environment, you're talking plastics, you're talking and I know that that's not your background, or your background didn't prepare you for this, or what you went to school to study. What did you study doing? So
I actually studied law.
Can you imagine? Lawyer. And she's not wearing wig and gown. Some people would be like, I want to wear my wig and gown. Amazing lady.
It's very different from what totally different. Like nothing in school prepares you for a life like this.
You can't say that again.
My dad always used to call me my son. I want you to be a son, senior advocate. And I always tell him that, okay, Daddy, don't worry, I'll become a son.
Yes.
So before he passed, I would always tell him that I'm the senior advocate of nature.
Wow.
Advocate of Nigeria.
So he got a son.
He got a son.
The son was a different son. Wow.
Yes. So.
Wow. Law.
Yes.
And now nature. See why you're just an amazing lady. I mean, nothing could have. What do your friends think about you? Let me ask that question. Especially those that you went to school with. Let them think you're crazy.
First of all, let me start with family. You know, there was a time my sister just looked at me one day. I was in the garden. I was just walking. She just looked at me one day. I can never forget. She said, "Why are you like this?" She looked at me and she said, she was trying to wonder that how can a younger sister? Because I was like, please, when you come, let me buy cutlass. She said,
of all things to ask for.
People are asking me, can buy a new bag, you know, new shoe, when you're coming back, or I need makeup, and you're asking me for cutlass. She was like, why are you like this? Why are you the way you are? So
wow.
So a lot of people are, you know, when they look at me, they're just like, how? What happened? You know, things like that. So it's been a different path. You know, my friends from school, because most of my friends are actually practicing. You know, they go to court all the time.
Of course. I mean, that's why they read law.
Yes, and you know, it's different. Most of people in my class, because the truth is, not everybody in my class is practicing. You know, some people decided to do, you know, culinary work. You know, they become chefs. Some people, you know, different things. But for this, it's quite really odd. So they can't really place it that doing what happened. You know, that kind of thing. But gradually, you know, over the years, especially because I started when I was in school. You know, I think I was in my second year, or I can't really, I think it was my second year in school, second year. You know, so I would invite my classmates, you know, to come and clean the environment, to come and do this. And it was always very weird for them. But, you know, after law school and they saw that, okay, this is basically what this is actually
a path you have chosen.
This is a passion, and I have created, you know, a career out of it, you know. So they're like, okay, we will support you in any way. So I have classmates that are also my lawyers, you know, as well. I have some of them that would, you know, write me, you know, things that I would have done myself. You know, I have people in my community that can help me, you know, get it done. So
so what gives you fulfillment in all of this?
That question comes all the time, and it's very cliche when I say, you know, the need for change in Nigeria, because I love Nigeria a lot.
You have a passion for Nigeria. In fact, it's amazing.
I do, and I always like to see change in every little way. So every time, you know, the children are working on projects on their own, or, you know, I'm creating more jobs for people in Nigeria, it gives me that fulfillment that, yes, we can actually do something. We can solve our problems ourselves, and we can change the narrative of Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
And, you know, for me, what makes this so beautiful is the fact that you're still a young lady. It's not like you're one. You know, because at your stage, as it were, you know, of course, you know, you and I are not the same generation, you know. They're more self-focused, and here you are focusing on things that benefit every other person but you. You know, benefiting the environment. Children get a lot of benefit, even the parents of the children, even the society, because these children become better children than they would have been, ordinarily have been, you know, if they didn't come into contact with you and what you're doing. So that's why I said, you're doing exploits, you're doing extraordinary things, you're doing things that we can only applaud you for, Doyisola. You are an amazing young lady. You are an amazing young lady. So Doyisola, and I know that you're growing along this line. So what are you into now? I mean, you've added on more things that you're doing. Oh, this lady. So tell us.
Okay. It's not just recycling we focus on. You know, we talk a lot about the environment. So we also do a lot of tree planting. You know, we plant trees in schools. We plant trees everywhere, because apart from the fact that trees give us shade and food, it also gives us one thing we can't live without, which is oxygen, right? And oxygen is you know, trees are major producers of oxygen, you know, right now. So we encourage people, you know, to plant trees. We encourage people to adopt trees, nurse trees to growth, you know. things like that. So we're really, really focusing in 2021 on tree planting across communities. We're focused on 24 communities, coastal communities in Lagos State. So that's basically what we're doing. And it didn't just start now. Tree planting was something I started way back in 2009. And the house that we stayed in, Aja, we had like a very big compound. You know, so I started to plant trees there. And my dad would look at it and say, why are you planting trees? No, I want to build my house. I want to do that. I want, you know, because there was a lot of space.
Yes.
And so one day he said to me that I should move all the plants, all the trees. No, he didn't say it to me. He said it to my mom that I should move all the plants from there. This was way back in 2009. I was so upset, and because I had put in so much. And trees. I'm very passionate about the growth of trees and things like that. Or I'm passionate about nurturing things, you know. So ever since I was a child, seeing the trees from like little, you know, to massive, you know, it was something that always gave me joy. So when he said I should move it, I said, I'm not just going to move it like that. Oh, I will start another project. So I started a project called the 50K trees, 50,000 trees. I was going to plant 50,000 trees in the 5 regions of Lagos State using children and schools.
Just for those trees in your house?
Those trees to survive. So that was so, you know, so my dad would always look at me and was like, she's not studying law, she'd not go to court today. You know, things like that. So we're always having that back and forth, you know, growing up.
Especially for an African father, you know what you expect.
Exactly.
You know?
So my mom would say, I'm just saying, little, call barrister. Put barrister beside your name. They must know she's a lawyer. So
that they know that your father spent good money to send you to school. Even if you're planting these trees, at least put barrister. Let them know that yes, you're lawyers.
Things like that. So, you know, sometimes I'll just go to court and I'll call my dad. Daddy, I'm in court now. Just say, okay, that's nice. I say, yes. After that, I'll go to the beach or go to the garden and things like that. So, after a while, he started to warm up to what I was doing. And he was like, okay, you're planting tree. I hope you're making money. I was like, yes, Daddy, this is what we're doing. And you know, we started to talk and bond on that level. Yes. And on my mom's 60th, I decided to plant 60 trees in honor of her. So my dad came to the beach that day. He planted his tree. Like, he took the rake, he took the shovel, and you know, that was the first time I really saw my dad doing things like that. It made me so happy. And I think a year after, a year after he came back, you know, to check the tree and everything, and I was really happy, you know, that he came, he saw the beach and everything. So of all the things my dad left behind for myself and my family, I think that tree is something I'm really connected to. And you know, on the day of his passing, I just went to plant a tree. And you know, so the truth is, I don't know how it connects. I don't know if it's spiritual. I really don't know. But if you are hurting, if you are, you know, if you have a child, if it's a birthday, just put a tree in the ground. It does something. It does something for you, and it also does something for, you know, for the people you love, for people to remember, and it does something for the environment as well. So
I think there's something about nature, you know, that
So when you connect to nature, it helps us, you know.
Wow, amazing. You know, I am wowed by you. You know, and I'm so proud of everything you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And I'm hoping that lots more people, when they see this program, will actually buy into what you're doing, change the culture, their culture, have the recycle culture, and you know, maybe someday join us, you know, along the coast to clean up.
Exactly.
Join us for the tree planting and everything like that, and it gives a lot of fulfillment. You know, we could go on and on talking about you doing solar, and that's the truth, you know, but of course we're constrained by time, and you know, I just hope that this few minutes, you know, somebody has picked up something to encourage them, to inspire them, you know, to change their lifestyle. And Doyin, thank you for doing this with us. Thank you for sharing your life and what you do with us. So there's something we do on the Now Show, which we call the final word, which is something that we want you to leave our viewers with.
Okay.
Something, even if they don't remember all the 25, 26, 7 minutes of our conversation, you know, that 1-2-liner that they are going to remember today by. So, Doyisola, your last word.
Okay, I would say nothing is too small. There's no action that is too small. Whatever it is you want to do it well, be fantastic at it, and it will grow. Trust me, it will grow.
Wow, amazing. Nothing is too small.
Yeah.
Just be fantastic at it and it will grow. I'm amazed by this young lady. Courage to do exploits. Until we come your way again on the Now Show, I'm your regular host, Abosede Oza Osho, signing off with Doyisola Ogunye.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.